I'll never forget a flight off of the USS Kitty Hawk. The catapult shot is just 0 to 150 miles an hour in a second and a half. Got airborne, a 45-minute cycle, which is really short with a bag of gas. And I went out and did a one versus one dogfight, fighting the jet on the edge of consciousness, pulling G's, graying out. And then I came into the break overhead the ship, you know, faster than I was supposed to, about 600 feet, 600 knots, about 7, 8 Gs in the break. And then I slammed onto the flight deck. Now, as a 27-year-old kid from South Jersey, that was pretty cool. And I remember walking in the ready room and just full of sweat and just on top of the world. And the flight surgeon, I'll never forget this. He looked at me and I guess half jokingly, or maybe now I realize he wasn't jokingly, he said, "You guys wouldn't believe what this does to your bodies." And that always stuck with me as I transitioned out of flying fighters into the civilian world with some of the things that were going on with me. We can talk about trauma. We can talk about loss. In 15 years of flying fighters for the Navy, I lost 16 buddies, 16 brothers. And then along the way, I lost 4 F-18 brothers to suicide: Swede, Jaws, Buster, and Skate Rat. So a lot of trauma involved in that. And then I'm okay to say at this point in my life, it's a tonight we drink, tomorrow we die atmosphere. It was hard living being a fighter pilot as well. As fighter pilots, we're taught to compartmentalize. We got to put all these things into little boxes: the pain, the trauma, the loss, the drinking. And then sadly, someday in the future, usually all those boxes open up like a jack in the box, and we got to deal with them. So that's when I kind of started tracing everything that was going on in my life back to where I believe it all started, flying fighter jets for the Navy. And Top Gun Maverick, and how there's a Hollywood view that the Navy needs and fighter aviation needs, and then there's the reality of it. I know Raisin, I know General Kane really well. He and I technically worked together the morning of September 11th, and then we worked in business a couple of years later. I'm super psyched that we have a steely-eyed, fangs-out fighter pilot leading the helm, so maybe Raisin can shine a light on this as well. There's been a big focus lately, year to date, obviously, on aviation safety. Now, I don't want to freak everybody out here, but where do you think that the vast majority of fighter pilots go after they hang up their flight suit? They go to the airlines. The VA told me nothing that was wrong with me was service related. So guess what I told the FAA when I went to FedEx initially? Nothing was wrong with me. About 5 years ago, Jennifer, there was a report. The FAA, the VA started poking around a lot of veteran aviators' records, and they found out that, wait a minute, you're getting some disability from the VA, but you didn't fess up to the FAA. So they actually went after about 5,000 veteran captains and first officers. And I think it had the exact opposite effect of intended. Now everybody's terrified. If you say, hey, man, I had a little PTSD from losing a buddy flying fighters, you're done. Enjoy the next 3 years of your life trying to fight to get your license back. So we really have to have an honest conversation about this. I tell people, if I got on an airliner and took a survey of the passengers and I said, hey, I'm going to give you two choices. Would you rather the captain and veteran first officer flying this aircraft continue to self-medicate, drink, hide their PTS and trauma, or would you rather they go take a week off and get their mind, body, and soul right? You and I both know what the answer would be. So we need a little bit of a come to Jesus about fighter aviation, the dangers, and also the transition into the FAA. On the Maverick poster, it doesn't have any fine print on there, does it, that warns you about all of these things. Matter of fact, a lot of veteran fighter pilots joke about, we've heard that Top Gun 3, Maverick, is in pre-production. I think it's Maverick faces his most lethal adversary, the VA. I mean, we all joke that Maverick ejected out of 3 aircraft. He's got combat trauma. He thinks he killed his best friend. And the VA is going to tell him, sorry, none of that service related. All fighter aviators and air crew, front seaters, back seaters, hold G's and go under this tremendous amount of trauma and stress and also suffer loss. But it's unique to naval aviation, Navy and Marine aviators who have to slam a jet aboard the boat. It's a car crash, just like football players. Many football players have CTE. Why? Every one of those tackles is a car crash. Well, we have hundreds and hundreds of these tackles, hundreds of these car crashes. Some aviators and aircrew have over 1,000. That the human body was not designed to do that repeatedly. It also wasn't designed to fly the jet on the edge of consciousness where we gray out. If it was, I'd pull the most G's I could, and just like a soda straw, my vision would go gray, and you can still hear, you can still move your hands and your feet. The first thing to go when you're about to pass out is your vision. So I'd pull so hard to try and get that advantage. I'd almost black out, unload the aircraft to get some blood back in my head to get my vision back. Oh, there he is. Get back on the G. None of that stuff is natural. I'm happy that the either the oversight committee or the government or the Navy is finally taking a look at this. It is way past due. We've lost so many brave women and men to this, and it's sad. It should not happen.